What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Blizzard Reviews. Today, I am so excited to take a dive into one of my favorite new albums that came out this year. I know it's been a very hectic year with trying to balance YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. So make sure you follow all three of those so you guys can keep up with all the content that I'm making. And I'm a bit lacking a little bit on here, but I promise to make it up in time. So make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And speaking of roller coasters, today we're going to be taking a look at an insane emotional roller coaster of an album that touches on subjects of anxiety, depression, mental health, and werewolves. That's right, we're taking a look at the new album from Cognitive that came out earlier this year on Metal Blade Records. Cognitive is a 5-piece technical death metal band from New Jersey, represent, and have just been putting out some very well-received and beloved technical death metal albums over the past decade, if not so. The band formed back in 2012 with their first EP, The Horrid Swarm, to much praise to, the local scene, I guess you would call it. This is the band's 5th studio album, with their 4 previous albums being loved by the underground metal community, especially with their 2021 album Malevolent Thoughts of a Hastened Extinction. The band has ultimately been described as a blend of technical death metal and deathcore, but I personally go with the former because while the band tends to have a lot of really cool breakdowns in their songs, it's really the guitar playing from Rob Wharton and Harry Lannon that takes the cake and solidifies them as a technical death metal band. In 2023, the band released the single Rot Eternal as a standalone single. That coincided with their signing to Metal Blade Records. And later on that year, they put out the title track for their album that would be known as Abhorrence. The album opens with the title track, Abhorrence. Just open it up with a grand welcoming of welcome to the chaos that is going to be this entire thing and that we're going to go and explore together. Obviously, with the title being Abhorrence, kind of appropriate, creative amalgamation of emotions that really take the listener to different states of the human mind. This album really shows how much the band has grown lyrically and matured over the past few years. The band isn't afraid to go and talk about things that usually aren't normal talked about in the metal when it comes to, drug addiction, mental health, depression. People kind of put that away, especially when it comes to these more extreme sides of death metal and deathcore, if you want to call it. I put up a sort of barrier or front because Cognitive isn't afraid to go and explore that and kind of dive into that and make it. They almost sort of normalize these sort of subjects, and because we all really do go through these things a lot, especially within the last few years, talking about grief or loss or things that we go through on a daily basis, really. It feels more personalized to the listener that you have a familiarity with the subject matter with these songs. And with them being around for about 13 years, the band is really to go and be able to dive into these different subject matters, and also not afraid to have more solemn moments on the album. This could be heard, especially on one of the tracks, As the Light Fades, which is a very strong and emotionally driven song, especially opening and ending with these 2 incredible guitar solos and touching on subjects of loss and grief. And that is a really nice way to end the A side of the album, while the B side feels a lot more aggressive and angrier and darker. Savor to Suffering is just a straight up death metal song, and it's a nice transition to go from the A side to the B side with that. Every song on this album was written for a purpose. whether that be Rorschach to be an homage sort of touching on Watchmen, but also how the human psyche depicts things of what we see and what our mind wants us to see with a Rorschach test. Musically, I think this is their strongest release to date. Shane Joss has expanded his range, going from these low guttural feelings that you hear in just brutal death metal, adding melody into it by adding vocals that, you know, innocent of like Travis Ryan from Cattle Decapitation. The way that he adds, you know, these harmonies that aren't really guttural growls, but more like these cries or shrieks, add a different layer and tonality to these songs that really expand them overall. This is probably some of the best guitar work that I've heard from both Harry Lennon and Rob Wharton. Harry was also, at this time too, balancing between being in cognitive and tech death band Revocation. Little fun stuff there happening too, all in the Metal Blade family, as they say. Getting these really cool, intricate interludes into these songs with these expanding and more bigger, grander solos. A lot of the songs on this album, even with the guitar playing, it is telling a story of what they want to tell us. You know, whether what the message about, you know, corporate greed, like in Ivory Tower, or on the song Insidious with drug addiction, or in Lunar Psychopathy, you know, talking about mental health, but through the eyes of werewolves, touching on things like bipolar and borderline personality disorder. You know, I do find going back to that, I guess, normalization of these, you know, subject matters. It's just really nice to hear it in death metal, especially. This is definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. Every song on this album is memorable. There's not a bad song on this album. This is an album where I could probably hear it played from start to finish, and it just feel in sync and coherent with. This is Cognitive at their A game. This is Cognitive fine-tuned in. This is Cognitive expanding from being seen as a, I'm giving this album a 9.5 out of 10. There's no quick question about it. This is the best tech death album of 2024. It's more than a metal album that you can just show your friends. This is an album that you could show anybody looking to dive into more extreme types of metal or extreme types of music in general. This is still Cognitive from Deformity and Matricide, you know. But that's my shit. Matured, like Cognitive, put in a barrel, sealed off for 10 years, and aged in fine oak times and cracked open. And this is an absolutely banger album. I know this fall the band is going to be opening up for Cytotoxin, making their US debut. It's going to be Cytotoxin, Cognitive, Necroticgorebeast, and Innoculation. Just an insanely stacked technical death metal lineup. So don't miss that. If you haven't already picked up Cognitive's Abhorrence, pick it up. Go to metalbladeshop.com. Go to the band's pages to get it. Congratulations to the guys at Cognitive. Truly, you guys put out an insane album with such beauty and precision, but still brutal, still heavy, still driving. And I truly can't be more proud of you guys and how much you have grown, just not only as musicians, but as people too. Rob, I love you, man. Harry, I love you. Shane, Tyler, AJ, y'all are the fucking best. I've been seeing you guys grow over the past few years, and it's just incredible to see it. And you're doing Jersey proud. Containment Breach is the new Jersey anthem. Sorry, Born to Run. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you get tickets to go see Cognitive this fall. They're going down the road with Cytotoxin, Necroticgorebeast, and Innoculation. Make sure you pick up the new album from Cognitive, Abhorrence, out now on Metal Blade Records. And I'll see you guys on the next review video. Let me know what your favorite songs are from this album down below, and I'll be around very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.